Hello.
Hello?
This is Let's Keep It Real. I'm Austin. I'm here with Mario. We're gonna be talking about men's mental health. Yeah.
Yeah, but first of all, let's get into this quote of the day. Let's talk about it, bro.
Wait, we have a quote.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Read the quote.
time is precious. Time is valuable. You only have 24 hours every day. You should make the most of it.
I agree with that more than people saying like you only live once. Like we live every day. You have 24 hours to live every single day. It feels like eternity. And then you are going to tell me that with the idea of like, oh, you only live once. No, you only die once. You live every single day. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what they're talking about. All
No, me
right.
neither. I feel like that's really hypocritical.
So listen, I'm gonna be honest here. My allergies are absolutely kicking me where it hurts. I'm getting absolutely destroyed today.
Yeah, me too, bro. I feel that. I feel that.
All right, so let's honestly just get straight into it. Men's mental health isn't something that's really talked about, right? Obviously.
Yeah. Well, besides us, yeah. Yeah.
Well, mental health is talked about a little bit, but like men's mental health, like how do you feel about it? Do you feel like it's talked about enough?
I feel like it's talked about, but like I feel like people that are struggling with men's mental health don't know where to find it. And I feel like this podcast we made right now, right, maybe a way for more men to find it, more men to reach out and learn more about like what's going on in our lives, and maybe they can do something with theirs as well.
Yeah, I hope people can connect with us because like I'm young. I'm only turning 18 this month. I hope some people can kind of connect with this because I'm young. I'm dealing with these problems. I'm facing them. I can confidently say though, like people don't care as much about men though. It's like we're like held to a standard, which is kind of like messed up. Like why?
I mean, I kind of believe it just originates from just like hundreds of years of men being men, and the stereotype of men just being like above women. We're held to a high standard.
Yeah, we're supposed to be like stronger and everything.
Yeah,
We're supposed to like
strong. You're supposed to carry the weight, everything. But I feel like it's just all that build up from over the years is just like causing a lot of stress on the male community for sure.
yeah. Have you ever just like I know you haven't, but like me from experience, if I walk into like one of those mental health facilities, because I go to one, I go to this place called Comprehensive. It is genuinely, it's all guys, ranging from it being like little kids or to grown men. Like I see so many people with like problems, and it's like mostly men. Like how is that not a problem?
Why is that? Because I feel like a lot of people don't really know like that men's mental health can be different from women's.
Yeah, especially in those places like I just mentioned before. I don't get why it's like not a majority of people are like worried about men. It's kind of ridiculous. But moving on from that, you know, how's your mental health been impacted by like certain things? Like what goes into like what you do? Like is there anything like you like to do and when you get home that helps your mental health, or is there anything like you struggle with in general?
I felt like I did struggle with a lot, but then I found I found kind of I could kind of control my brain of thinking.
Like you found peace.
Yeah, I kind of found peace. But like it's not always there. It's not always there. Like I don't always like think peaceful thoughts all the time, but when I do it really works, and I get like a kind of piece of like euphoria, like a feeling like that like kind of like what drugs do to you almost. But like
In a
it's
good
just
way. Yeah,
you're
in a
right.
good way.
If you're that good of like making yourself feel better, like just thinking that like you're on top of the world, like you will get the feeling, like I said, euphoria, like you will feel like you're on top of the world. And I feel like that really works because I'm just thinking about that feeling that I got from thinking about this one thing, and it can completely changes my mind. I'm smiling happy for hours on end for no reason at all. Literally no reason besides me, what I was thinking in my head. And just like what goes into that is just having like a good foundation, like working out, eating good. Like
Yeah.
I have those things I can think of that make me feel good, that I'm getting stronger, and that I can use for power, like mind power. Like working, like doing physical things, you can build mind power from that, I feel like. And do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, I definitely feel like that because like I have thoughts, there's bad ones, there's like the intrusive ones that are like, oh, jump out the window, like stuff like that. You just want to you see a ledge and you're like I should jump that, or like you see a cliff and you're like I want to fall down. It's like, but no, like the good ones though definitely come in pretty often. I focus on them, like I'm gonna be able to hang out with this or that person this weekend, or I just gotta make it to Friday to get this. Like I'm always looking forward to something, and I'm always making plans so I can look forward to it, and it brings peace to my mind and stuff like that to know like I got something going on for me every single day and something to do. That feels great because somebody that struggles with mental illness, not everybody has that opportunity, but I'm glad I can give myself that opportunity where most people can't.
Yeah, and it just takes time to work on that too. Just like finding things that will help you in your mind as well on a daily basis. Like thinking of something that good could happen, like good out of something instead of bad out of something. Like let's say I went to school all day and then I'm going straight to work, but I'm constantly thinking about the good in that day, like the people that bring me happiness in my day. Even though my day, like from the outside, it sounds like a really bad day but I can change my inside of thinking it
Yeah,
differently,
I know what you mean.
because just good outcomes that come to every negative thing you're thinking, there could be a good outcome coming from it. You just do not know. And that's just like the unknown.
Yeah, I just feel like everything's just day to day in general. Sorry, I'm having trouble speaking, with my allergies and all that. Yeah, everything's just kind of day to day, and another thing that's helped me is God. I'm gonna briefly mention God here. I talk about him pretty often. You know, this. He's
Hmm.
helped me. He's guided me towards the light. I used to not believe in him. He brought me back because I felt like I was getting closer with the devil than I was with God. And the light kind of to me, it just in general is God, and He has helped me greatly. And it's crazy the things that I prayed for and that I pray for every day. He's actually given me, and I couldn't be more thankful.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. Just looking like towards somebody, even if they're not a real person, like in a religious standpoint, but just believing in them and reaching out and finding peace in something. If you can't find peace in yourself, then I would talk to somebody and maybe find peace with them.
How is Let me see how I'm gonna word this question. How have you dealt with adversity? Like, cause we talk about good, but like, what about like adversity? Like when you're struck with adversity and something goes wrong, like how do you deal with that?
Adversity, I'm not the best at it, but I try working at it. Like there's some days where I'm just like crammed and crammed and crammed, and I just what I do is I just stop thinking about what's happening right now, and I just think about what will happen after this. Like how, like I know what it looks like to overcome something, so I'm constantly thinking about how it will feel to overcome something rather than what's going on right there and then. And just like if a lot of stress is put on you, you think about the outcome. But a lot of people don't know about the outcome until it's actually happened. So it's good to have experience. Like even getting a
Yeah,
job or something. Like
yeah,
I
it's
feel like
definitely a process.
that's really showed me a lot of not only responsibility but how to work with stress, because any job out there is stressful, and it really gives you like a chance to find out who you are and how you lack, like who you lack in something, because everybody lacks in something but they can always get better at it, I feel like.
Yeah, I definitely, I definitely agree with that entirely. I haven't had a job before, but I've heard many things. I have a lot of things from people that have like experience, have had multiple jobs. You know, it sounds stressful, it sounds tough. You know, um, I was kind of afraid of it. I'm more open to it because you know after I graduate, that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. You know, it's great. I'm going to be early grading, but yeah, I would say at this school, definitely I've dealt with a lot of adversity, and the way that I've kind of dealt with that is I've kind of just set a goal and kind of just like focused on it, and it has been so much better for my health because you know I've struggled with things in the past, and you know people have like chewed me out and heckled me for it. Cause like I was a victim to rape last year in 2023, and I didn't say anything. My mind got conditioned. Which do you know what conditioning is?
I feel like I the word sounds familiar, but I would like you to evaluate on it. Yeah, for sure.
It's basically like an example. Like so, you take a baby and you take a monkey, and you have them hang out around each other, and you treat the monkey and the baby the same way. And the baby starts picking up on the monkey's behavior. You're conditioning that baby's brain to act like the monkey and have tendencies of the monkey. And basically, if you say things or treat me a certain way, any human, it can be trashy, it can be good, it will condition the brain to act like that. I was mentally abused, I was manipulated, my mind was conditioned, and I was sexually exploited. I did not like it at all, and people were very rude to me. Very rude. You know how some of the people can be at the school.
Yeah. And I want to go to what that theory is, or not even a theory. Is it true, right?
Yeah, it's true. So like conditioning is like a thing in like psychology. Like if you're like taking it true and you learn a lot about it, it's definitely a crazy one, I would say, but it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I want to go on to that and say like that sounds exactly like how people's like how people grow up and how they turn into people is just based on the people that they are around in their life. Like if their parents are not that good to them or their friends and family isn't good to them, they'll go and wait, what are you trying to say? What I was trying to say, okay, is the monkeys and babies experiments is just like how people like grow up and like who they're around.
Yeah, like you get conditioned, like your brain, like oh, like to think this is okay, like oh, boys can't cry, boys can't do this, like that's all like a normal thing.
And it's just like different things too. Like I haven't heard some of the things that you've said before, but I've heard other things. And it's just because we're different. We grew around different people, different families, different friends, and that's just like what conditioned you into that person that you are. And I feel like you definitely can control it. Do you feel like that? You can control conditioning and change your conditioning?
Yeah, I mean, you can condition yourself to like think something because like you see social media and stuff like that. People take something on social media and act a certain way. Because in my mind, everybody's a blank canvas. They are an empty blank sheet of paper, and they are waiting to be filled with like certain things. Like oh, like this is their opinions on this or that, or these trends, or this is what they want to do. Everybody in general is a blank canvas, and then you condition them, and they're going to eventually turn into that, or they're going to like this or that. It's just a matter of how the brain works, kind of, and it's really cool, but it's kind of strange at the same time, but it's super interesting.
Yeah, that's a really big discovery actually, because that involves a lot. Like just the monkeys and babies things involves a lot of just how like human nature is and how we adapt to different emotions, attitudes, just based on like common factors we have in our lives.
Yeah, and it's it's kind of crazy to me to think that like it'd be like a monkey and a baby that'd do that because I feel like to some point that's probably abusive. I think that's actually why the experiment got shut down. Is I was learning about that in psychology. That's actually why it got shut down because that's abuse.
Well, it's so real and it works. Like the baby will pick up everything. You know, when you're around like younger siblings or younger cousins and you're like don't
Yeah.
your parents are like don't do this around them or they'll pick it up really easily. They really do, because I've done something like that, or I did like an action or something and they just copy you. It's the funniest thing ever, but they like doing things that older people like doing or like people they look up to doing, so they do it over and over again. And that's why freaking elementary school or elementary school
Yeah.
kids get sent to the
Yeah.
office for saying cuss words and biting their teacher. Wait, not because their parents bite, but I don't know.
What?
Just
Yeah, keep going.
yeah, just how they are at home. I feel like plays a big factor in their everyday lives.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That's just kind of how we are. Conditioning can be used in a good or bad way, and I think that just says a lot of like human nature in general. You can be conditioned to kind of like do anything, but yeah, I can't lie though. I really enjoyed doing that type of stuff with my family, like telling them to go do this or that and making them think it's okay. It's kind of funny, but
It's a little messed up, just like the experiment, but like
it's not. It's not. We're not.
it's
We're
not
not
as
doing.
bad as like
Yeah, we're not. We're not doing.
we're
bad
not
like
changing
that.
babies into monkeys. So
Yeah, we're not. We're not
hanging
we're
off
not making them
trees.
think. Yeah, we're not making them think that. Yeah, that's like some of the things that they were actually trying to get him to do. It's like that's messed up. You can't do that. But I think that's about all for now. This is Let's Keep It Real with Mario and Austin, and that is about all we have today.
Have a good night. Bye bye.